everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do a little video on what I had said I was going to do one on, which is the Woodland Scenics dust dabber. And I'm going to try and get some close-up pictures today of how well this works. Because I'm doing the work on the layout right now, I'm doing a massive cleaning of the layout, dust-wise and so forth, and everything in the room for that matter, the top of everything. And let me just explain it to you on this video about how it works and how much I like it and some problems that I've had with one and so forth. But we'll get into that. But I hope you enjoy it, and let's go. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is its color and consistency. It has a real kind of a nice odor, kind of a lime odor to it, kind of like it looks. What I do is I just reach in and I pull out a little wad of it, which sometimes is kind of hard. We may or may not get this on the camera. I'll pull out a little piece about that big, because I'll explain in a little while why I'm only getting a piece this big. But let's show you how it works on the roof here. Okay, this roof is kind of gray to begin with, and I think I have this zoomed in. Let me zoom it in a little bit more if I can. And I'm just going to dab it a couple places right here. And show you how much it picked up right there. You don't really realize that there's that kind of dust on the top of everything on your layout until you do it. But that just shows the difference in the dust that I just picked up. Now I'm going to back out. Well, let me explain something to you too. Like this roof vent right here. All I have to do is stick it down right over the top of it like so, and then just kind of pinch it with my fingers around that vent. And you can see that it has now picked up all the dirt around the base of that vent and not damaged the vent whatsoever. And let me swing the camera over just a little bit. That little pipe sticking out of the roof right there is pretty tiny. I don't exactly know what gauge it is. Let me put my thumb there. You can see how big that pipe is. We can stick this directly down over that pipe and dab, as it says, and not damage that pipe. So that gives you an idea of how easy it is to use. Now I'm going to move up here. Let me back the camera up, and we'll just go ahead and finish this roof here. And I'll even try and go around I have not done it around a TV antenna, but we're going to shove it under the antenna, like so. And while it did turn the antenna, it did not break the antenna. And I'll do the top of the sign. I did all along the edges of the building. Now, just for a little bit of comparison, I'm going to do the building next door. Right over the pipe. I also, on this one, have an extremely tall pipe right here. I'm going to let the weight of the dust dabber go down over the pipe. And on either side, you can actually see the pipe sticking through the dust dabber. And I'm going to pick it straight up, right around that delicate detail. Very easy, very easy. Down around the other pipe here, and around the edge of the roof. Now you can see how clean that is. Now what I'm going to show you here, hopefully, is I have a lot of people on the roof doing roofing on this building here. And I'm going to do this whole roof right around all these people and hopefully not break any of this scenery. I pulled up a little, I don't know what this thing is. It's a little can or something, or a tar pot or something of that nature. But I don't even know whether I had it glued down or not, honestly. But you can see that with these people glued down on here, I'm able to go right around the people like nothing. I'm not sure what this was. It doesn't seem to want to stand up very well. I'll remount that, but you can see that even that, it's just works really well around the most delicate things. I'm going to move on down to the roof of the hotel. And here we're going to do the hotel. And you can see that I have a wooden sign on here with a very intricate wood detail on the back of the sign. And you can see I can even go underneath the edge of the sign here and do the ledge along the front of the building. Now I think I'll show you, I'm kind of having to lean over this because it's the only place that I hadn't done is the town area, I think, as I said in the video, in the last video, 65. But let me do part of the asphalt for you. Okay, this cul-de-sac looks like it has some ballast and stuff on it, and I don't know if it shows up in the camera, probably not, but there is some kind of contaminant on top of that taxi cab. But I'm just going to work that whole area for you and show you what we wind up with. And you can see here that the dabber has been picking up all this contaminant. And when it does that, you just knead it in, just knead it around. And this stuff kind of has a wet texture to it, and you could see when I was dabbing it that it leaves a wet, but it quickly dries. I don't know what's in it, probably just water and something. But anyway, we're going to do this asphalt, and I'll show you here what we wind up with. I'm even going to do the top of the taxi cab, and it took whatever was on there right off of there. I can do the trucks. I don't know if that truck's in the picture. It is. But I can do these trucks in the telephone yard while I'm here. I can do the yard itself. I can do the details outside, the cable reels, which are probably not on the picture. There's a little generator trailer. Once I get going, I just have kept going. I don't know whether it'll do anything on the top of this tree, but you can even use it on, if you have dust on top of the trees and foliage. I could do it right on this foliage. I have some white specks in the cemetery there, and even on this bush right here. I can pick all of that up with this, and you can see what it has picked up off of there. It's just super simple, super easy, super effective, and I like it. Okay, this is going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to try and hold the camera and do a little bit on the top of this caboose. Of course, I derailed it. But I hope you can see the difference there is between the top of it being all dusty and the top of it being cleaned with the dust dabber. I don't really think that there's anything you can't use it on. Of course, I have to re-rail those. But I used it on top, like I said in the other video, of the buses. I mean, I've literally used it everywhere. I'm going to try and find some place where I have a bunch of crud in the scenery and try and see if I can pick it up for you. Okay, well, I would normally vacuum this up. There's residue here from Cato Ballast and Homosote and other stuff. You can see that my dust dabber is getting full of junk already. But even with all this stuff in it, if you knead it into the surface of it where it doesn't fall back off, you can just keep going. So we're going to pick this stuff up, and like I say, I normally would vacuum it, but I just want to show you that it works without lifting up the scenery you have glued down. Naturally, it'll pick up anything that's loose, and that's a good thing, because even if it does pick up some scenery that's loose, you should have had it glued down in the first place. So you can go back and touch that up. But there you can pretty much see that we've taken a piece of real estate that had a bunch of nasty looking stuff and pretty much cleaned it up without the aid of a vacuum cleaner. If it's in a place where you can't get a vacuum cleaner, that's especially handy. Let me see if I can pick up some of this ballast that's laying in this little driveway right here. And there you go. You can see that you can just instantly go in there and pick up loose ballast or whatever you want to do. I think I've showed you enough demo stuff. Now let me talk about the product a little bit. Okay guys, so here is my piece that I've picked up a lot of crud with. And a lot of this stuff I normally would not pick up because I did some areas where a vacuum would have probably been prudent ahead of doing the dust dabber. And I say ahead of, to pick up most of the big stuff. Then you can concentrate on getting the dirt and dust off. But like I showed you, it'll pick up dirt and dust off of trees, foliage, literally anything. You just don't want to mush it in there too much. Like if you put it on a tree, don't sit there and squeeze it all over the place when it's new because you'll have a green tree. I don't know that to be a fact, but I would suspect that it may stick to stuff that's that coarse. So anyway, this is pretty much what it looks like after you get done using it. And if you've done all the area that you plan on doing, what I do is take this little piece that we pulled out of there and toss it in the trash. I know that when you read the instructions on the jar, it says that you can knead this and put it back in there. But from the experience that I've had, and I've called Woodland about it, that didn't work for me because it has an antibacterial in it supposedly, and I don't even know if it's non-toxic. Actually, I didn't even read it. It says it conforms to health requirements, blah, 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 bottling product, and probably don't want to swallow it. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't want to read it all to you, but anyway, because all of us are bored with all that stuff. But nevertheless, when I get through with this, I throw it in the trash, and I'll tell you why. Because I had some of this, and I took it out to the club, and I showed the guys at the club. We did a few things at the club. I came back here, I did a few things here in a video that I did talking about the dust dabber, and I took that, every one of the guys took their wad of junk they had picked up and kneaded it and threw it back in the tub. It sat there for about maybe 2 months, and when I opened it up again, I had a little circle of mold on the top. And I can't blame it on the dust dabber, because I may not have had the lid totally closed. I also found out that you need to, there's like a foil sealer that goes around here. And if you don't take all that foil sealer off, when you put the lid back on, it doesn't make a good seal around there and lets air in. And I think the object is not letting the air inside of this when it's sitting. But whatever I picked up, or I figure out whatever we did pick up on the ball, something was picked up that created the mold. Like I say, I don't blame it on the product. I did call them and told them my experience and what had happened, and she was very receptive. They wrote it all down and said they do a lot of testing about this stuff, and I didn't care whether they got back to me or anything. I just wanted them to know my experience with it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think the fact that it's very, very useful product way outweighs that, and I think sealing it, totally sealing it, not having any air leaking in there, I won't have that issue because they hadn't had any problems before. So that being said, don't hesitate to buy it, don't hesitate to use it, but when you get through using it, throw this piece in the trash. It's not that expensive that you can't take another glob out of there. You can see that I've used it 3 times already, a brand new one here, and I've barely taken any out of the tub. So don't be afraid to throw the contaminated stuff away, okay? That would be my recommendation. The second time that I opened it up, it probably said another month, and obviously not sealed, and had already had contaminants in it and had already had mold in it. But this time when I opened it, it was a considerably more mold inside of it, and it had really separated, and the slimy part had gone to the bottom and the water part had gone to the top, and it was just a mess. But like I say, I think that was my my error in not having this sealed completely when I close it. I don't know if keeping it refrigerated or anything like that would be, I just don't know, but I'm saying whatever went wrong with this was likely my fault. So like I say, I wouldn't hesitate to buy it, and like I say, any of that stuff outweighs the fact that it just cleans like crazy on a layout. And another thing I was going to say too is, and I know I'm rambling on again like I always do, but I have not tried it yet, but I'm sure you could take a glob of this and do your air conditioner vents in your car, any place that's hard to get to around your radio knobs and stuff. I mean, I just see 1,000,001 uses for this stuff. Even in your home, pick up dust anywhere that it's a problem to get to or that you can't get to. So, and of course, these are just my statements. It's certainly produced by Woodland Scenics for model railroad use. So that's the only thing I can actually state that it's, that they claim it's good for. But having used it, I think it has uses in many other places. So, without sounding, again, like an infomercial, I wouldn't hesitate to use it, and that's about all I got for you today on it. So, that's it. Okay, gang, I hope you liked the video on the dust dabber. By the way, the product number on it is CW4539. I think we have 1 or 2 in stock right now, but we normally carry these. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you do some cleaning on your layout. And as I said, it's easy to use. It does a great job. Anyway, here I go again. I sound like an infomercial. But anyway, as usual, guys, thanks for watching.